But yeah, thank you for. Actually, I should not thank you for reminding me that we have an ABC store literally downstairs now.
Well, again, I'm just kind of a little bit mad at myself because I know that it was opening and I saw a bunch of dudes who look like me waiting on the sidewalk. I think it was Monday. And I thought it was weird. At first, I was like, man, well, maybe they're doing something, whatever.
Are they giving away bourbon?
No, they just had a better selection than we're normally used to.
Dude. So I know you did. So I was expecting just any old ABC store.
Right.
And then seeing the gigantic display of Buffalo Trace, I was like, oh, okay. And the Bookers too? I was surprised.
Oh, I didn't see the Bookers. I would have bought one of those.
Yeah, they had the Bookers ready to go.
Oh, dear. I resisted the urge to get the $7,500 bottle of Weller. I guess it's Gold Weller.
I've never had that.
Did you see it in the display case?
Has Ken not gifted that to us yet?
Did you see it in the display
case?
I
did not see it.
The guy working the counter.
How much is it?
$7,500.
Oh, that's nothing. My dad bought that ridiculous cognac once. The Remy Martin.
Apparently, they have 6 of them.
Is that? Can we make it a business expense?
No. Not even high.
Oh, by the way, it's the media guy who asked, "Hey, you guys making money?"
Yeah.
What we could say is we were until we dropped this amount of money on a Weller.
Health insurance.
Yeah.
Set Gold Weller or whatever it is.
Millennial
Weller. I didn't catch the name of it. I just saw it's like this.
Oh. No, the problem I'm going to have is that it's easy access to the vodka drinks now.
You said you're switching away from.
I mean, I'm reducing my beer intake.
Okay,
and what I've
noticed, I hear you saying is you're moving to beer flavored beer.
No, I hear you. I have been. I have already moved over to beer flavored beer.
You dabble sometimes.
Occasionally.
I can't even occasionally dabble in anything else.
No, it's just the older I get, the worse I feel drinking beer. Not that I can't drink beer. It's just I have to make a calculated decision. But if I want to drink alcohol, I've noticed I have to go clear liquor now. So like a vodka soda or ranch waters, that kind of stuff. And the thing, I never go to like those hard seltzers because it's just malt beverage. So I know downstairs, I guess we're gonna have to re-up the fridge here with some canned vodka drinks.
Thank you, Paul. I thought I saw something with Millennium or Millennia or something. Yes.
Oh, I see. Weller Millennium. Do you know my dad still has an Avion water from the year 2000? So they came out with this very special Avion bottle. It looks like a teardrop. And it was like Avion Millennia.
Whoa.
It's still sitting there collecting dust. We keep joking with my dad that
your dad buys some interesting things.
He has a lot of weird trinkets. So at some point when my dad, my brother and I joke all the time that eventually when he passes away, we're going to pour one out. And that's what we're going to pour out is that Millennium water.
The water.
Because I can't drink it. I'll probably get like dysentery or something. Montezuma's revenge.
All of this talk.
Yeah. Oh, you got props?
Is actually our prop.
Okay. What'd you bring?
So
we haven't even started yet, by the way.
I have a new tailgate poison of choice.
Okay.
Now, if I show you the prop, you have to drink the prop. Okay. Are you prepared?
If I show you the prop, I have to drink the prop. Okay. I accept.
Okay.
I accept. Just the look of a fireball blazing apple.
It's delicious.
What is with you in the apple drinks? I don't understand.
Just take a poll. You don't have to.
No, I'm not going to take a poll. I'm not going to do that. I'll try this, and eventually we'll start the podcast. Let me just. Oh, this smells disgusting, dude.
I know how much you love the apple.
What's next? Fireball pumpkin?
I don't like pumpkin. You know this.
No, there is a. Oh, okay. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Oh, yeah. Cheers. Okay. Like, no, I don't need any more. No. So Eshba and I did a pumpkin beer taste test once, and there was some.
It really doesn't taste like Fireball, by the way.
It's an atomic pumpkin. It's like a spicy pumpkin. It completely wrecks your taste buds. All right, let me try this. Okay, on the back end.
It doesn't taste like Fireball.
On the back end.
You get some of this in it?
It's on the back end. Yeah, up front, you're getting the apple.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the back end is when you get that cinnamon.
It's not bad.
Yeah, actually, you know what this is? This is like dessert.
Yeah.
With the apple and the cinnamon. Yeah. I feel like we're going to put this on make a pie out of this. A little demi-glaze, a little reduction with the Fireball apple. Anyway, you want to start the podcast?
What a program we got.
Will Wade agreed to this. Ready to start?
No, we told him don't ever watch the show.
All right, let's start. Let's podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies. We are inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh. Thanks to Empire Properties and thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. Print management, document management. Get everything you need to the cloud. Perhaps you have to keep track of all the bourbons that you see across the state. Which ones do I have? Which ones do I not have? I don't know. Put it in an Excel spreadsheet. Put it up in the cloud so it's always available to you. Print it out if you want to. You can do all that with our friends at Copiers Plus. And of course, it is just past 2:00. You know what that means. Time for another OG Butcher's Market Live. We always thank the Butcher's Market. Check them out online at thebutchersmarkets.com. It's going to be kind of a rainy weekend. Maybe you don't want to grill out. It's fine. You got to stay inside. They got meals for you.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Saturday and Sunday, Joe. I'm talking about Saturday and Sunday. Friday is still part of the weekdays. I know we have our golf tournament tomorrow. We're going to make that thing happen. So let's do
more?
it. No, I'm good. I'm good on that.
Solid.
I'm good on that, man. Trust me. Anyway, so again, big thanks to the Butcher's Market. Today's OG Live is sort of kind of live. We were live to tape. We went over to the Dale Basketball Center, NC State's basketball facility, and we visited with NC State head coach Will Wade. We set up shop in his office. And we brought the recording equipment over there. It was about a 35-minute conversation, which we're about to get to here in a second. Before we present it, though, Joe, any takeaways from our conversation with Wade? I know you went to the press conference, was it earlier this week?
Monday.
Monday, and then we had a chance to sit down with him today. That's my first interaction with him. So highly impressed with the conversation. And you'll hear me say this a couple of times. I'm like, oh, man, there's a coach at NC State who gets it. Basketball, mind blown. Like, it's been a long time, but it's kind of refreshing to see a guy who absolutely embraces everything that is NC State.
I think what you see is what you get with Will.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So far, that's my impression. I mean, obviously, we talked to him a little bit off the record, and I couldn't tell the difference, to be perfectly honest with you. From, sometimes when you interview somebody, they are one way when you interview them, and then like when the camera stops, they'll be like, "Oh, hey," da, 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 and you're like,
"Same guy.
Can we just have that?"
Well,
we've seen that before.
We have seen that before.
So I appreciate that. He knows what he's up against. I mean, hey, man. I thought the most interesting part was about his wife's family, and I didn't say it to him, but obviously, that Wanda's father, her late father, was a big State fan.
Yes.
Huge State fan.
It's what makes the triangle tick.
Roy Williams' wife, Wanda.
Yes. It's what we try to explain. Yeah. The old heads out there who have read your work or listened to me on the radio, they've been here for a long time and they rock with the podcast, understand this is what we embrace, right? But for younger audiences out there, we keep saying this. Nothing in the triangle happens without somebody doing something else. It's all intertwined, and that's what makes this area highly unique. So again, big thanks to Will Wade for having us out to his office. Here's a 35-minute conversation we had with him today.
All right, we're on the road. We took the roadcaster out. We were invited to the NC State basketball facility. We are in Will Wade's office with head coach of the Wolfpack, Will Wade. Thanks for having us out.
Appreciate you guys coming. Short trip, but we appreciate you coming in the facility here.
I think you have a very nice Tahoe too from our friends at the Heister Automotive Group. So we're already simpatico.
There we go.
We always love our corporate champions. So I feel like you've done a whole hell of a lot of media appearances and press conferences and whatnot, but I feel like, have things settled down? Like, are you good? Are you ready for the start of the season? We're ready. Talking season's over. You ready to play some ball?
Yeah, we're in our practice sessions now, so it's not as much travel. It's not as much moving around. A lot of it leading up to this has been a ton of just moving around and getting around town and getting around the state. and now it's settling in more, and where you're with the team every day and you're with the guys every day. And so this is the best part when you're forming your team and you're building your foundation. It's the most fun part for me as a coach, because it's going to dictate how the season goes for the most part. So if you can't form your team the right way, if you can't get the guys all on the same page, on one accord, it's very difficult. But this is the time where you do that. And so it doesn't happen like once the game start. Once the game start, you pretty much are who you are. You can change maybe 5% of who you are, 5 to 10% of who you are. But once the game start, you don't, once we hit November 3rd, we don't have another chance to reset until the holiday break.
Yeah.
Then the holiday break, you can reset with practice time and with different things that you have. But once we start November 3rd, I mean, we are who we are for about 5 weeks.
Okay.
And so, there's not a whole lot we can do. And so this part is the fun part, because this is going to show who we are when we take the court on November 3rd.
And I'm assuming that being around town, State fans have also told you what their expectations are for who you're supposed to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, look.
How's that gone for you? Now that you settled in, like,
I think we want to beat everybody. I think we want to beat everybody.
There's 2 teams in particular that I know they're very, very thirsty to beat. But what's that, now that you've kind of settled in, what I've been curious about is that State fans, and look, I graduated from NC State. Joe graduated from NC State. I've been here working in some form or capacity for 25 years. State fans will let you know what they want. I've been curious how it's been for you now that you've settled in. If you're out and about, I don't know, you're at Clues getting a hot dog or something like that, and they're like, hey, Coach Wade, just so you know. Have you experienced that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I've been shocked at, I thought that Raleigh would be more split. I've been shocked at how much Raleigh is just straight NC State. That was surprising. You see some of the others every once in a while, but it's mainly NC State. And our fans are awesome. Our fans are great. They're passionate. They care. You'd rather them care than not.
Yeah.
And look, I understand what comes with that. I mean, they're going to be upset when we lose because they're invested and it hurts. And that's what you want as a coach. You want that much more than an apathetic group that doesn't care or doesn't show up. So, we're asking them to show up. We're asking them, to buy season tickets. We're asking them to come to the opener, and it's on us to deliver something that meets their standard. And so that part, that's the part we're working on right now. But we understand when we don't meet their standard, there's another side of the coin to that. And I totally get that, and I totally understand that, and that's the way it should be. And you want to be somewhere where there are expectations. We're not doing anything to damper the expectations, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. And so we're excited about it, and I think with our passionate fan base and our team's going to play with passion, our team's going to play hard for each other, our team's going to play hard for our fans and for our university, and I think it'll work well. But I'm very very appreciative of our fan base and just how rabid they are.
I went to your press conference on Monday, and there were
covered a few topics.
Yeah, there were a lot of numbers, and they were all off the top of your head, and that was super impressive. I am going to need you to explain wind shares and lower body leg strength to me, though, at some point, but we'll get that at another day. Where did your love of numbers come from? Was that your 2-year stint at Harvard, or where did that come from?
I think that what gets measured gets done. So I always like to measure things. Everything that we can measure, I think we have a better chance of accomplishing what we want to do. So when we set out to do something, I want to have measurable goals, incremental goals that we can take to meet that. Because it's really about the end in sight, but the process is what is what it's about. And so everything we do, we try to have measurable goals, and we knew when we put the team together, hey, here's where our strengths are, here's where our shortcomings are. We've got to go to work. We got to make sure our strengths don't become a weakness or are not as good as we were projecting them to be. And then we know we had to make up about 3.5 points a game if we want to be the contender that we want to be. We know we need about 3.5 points a game we need to make up, and we've made up over half of that this summer. We need to make up another point or so right now. And so, we're very aware of where we are and where we need to be, and we're trying to ruthlessly attack those areas that are the lowest hanging fruit that we can get the most bang for our buck on.
Last time I saw you, you probably don't remember, we were at VCU in 2017. It looked like an elementary school classroom in the side of your building over there. And I was struck that you had a rolled up piece of paper in your back pocket. Those are your game notes, your plays, Are your 3-point numbers on there? What very Norman Dale of you? Do you still have the?
Oh yeah, so I
you still
write out.
use the notes?
I write out our offensive plan and all of our special situations. I do it by hand. I've done it that way for years. I write it out every game. I highlight the different stuff. I feel like, it helps me mentally prepare. Once I've written it out, I do it every game. I write it on the board. We may use the play one time out of every game, but I've written it out. By that point, I've written it out maybe 35 times, but I've written it out every game. I've gone over it on the board every game. So the night before the game, I write everything out. I write my game card out. I draw everything up on the board, make sure I'm on point with what we're going to do. Because I think as a coach, you want to give your guys confidence. I never want to get the board and like mess something up, or my hands. I worked for a guy's hands was always shaking. I was like, I don't think that gave our guys a lot of confidence when his hand was shaking on the board.
No.
Like, I want to grab that thing and boom, 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 boom. So I think you need to practice that. I mean, that's part of my routine as a coach, and doing the game card. I mean, the game card takes me hour and 15 minutes to make every game, and sure, I could reuse the same one.
I was going to say
every game. You're writing a lot of the same stuff. There's 8 to 10 things that change, every game based on opponent and scouting and different things like that, but. I think the repetitive nature of it. I could draw all of our late game stuff right now. I mean, I've been using the same stuff for a while, so I just think it's part of my routine and it helps ground me and give me a sense of calm and preparation before we go out there.
Are you a superstitious coach like most people?
I don't like to say I'm superstitious. I'm more routine oriented.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
Well, I didn't know if you use the same pen, if you use the
I
same
only
pad.
use fine point Sharpie. I only use cardstock. No, I have all that.
That's all. That has
all
to be
that.
the same.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I respect
I use a
that.
fine point Sharpie. I have the same highlighter.
Yeah.
I have 3 different highlighter colors based on three different things, and fine point Sharpie on cardstock.
Once you find the paper quality you like, it's very hard to go back.
Oh, cardstock. There's not much better than the thick cardstock now. Now, you've got to be very careful on the fold.
Yes.
Because it'll splinter. When you get a really good piece of cardstock, it'll splinter on the fold. So you got to be very careful on the fold. And so I actually fold it, and then I take the backside of my fine point Sharpie, and I go straight down to make sure it's a straight line. If that thing doesn't fold perfect on the creases, that really bothers me. I have a bad feeling going into the game if I'm not straight down the
You're like
creases.
Teddy KGB with his Oreos.
Yeah.
If you don't get the
If you don't get the right one. And look, you're a Sharpie man. I respect it. I have the S-Gel Sharpie pens. That's just what I work with when we work on the show. So I'm like, all right, Sharpie guy. I totally get it now.
You can see them all on my desk over there.
Yes.
man's got to live by a code.
takes about. I can use one of the Sharpies. Gets me through 2 games.
Okay.
So I got to replace them about every 2 games.
Man, that's a lot of writing.
If we
a
get
lot
a
of writing.
Sharpie deal, I'll share the revenue with you. How about that?
Sounds good.
There you
Sounds
go.
like we should team up.
We should. We should.
It's a whole new era, right? I mean, everything's kind of fair game right now, which is, I don't know, maybe that's my awkward transition to something that I've found interesting about you as a coach, in that most coaches don't want to lay it out there of what's going on. When you're at McNeese and your name is being attached to several jobs, including the NC State one, you're at the podium, you're giving a wry smile, but we all kind of know what the deal is. And you were upfront, like, yeah, I talked to my team. Why is that so hard? Why do you think it's so hard for people to process, a transparent coach who's telling us what's going on?
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it's about the situation too. So a lot of those kids knew what the possibility was when they signed up to play for us at McNeese. It's a little bit different based on your situation and how your locker room is. And I just felt at the end of the day, I've always been brutally honest with our guys, and I felt it gave us the best opportunity to clear the air and win.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to beat Clemson, and it gave us the best opportunity, because if we'd have been distracted, 2 to 3% just over that, that could have been the difference in the game.
Right.
And so we cleared the air on that. They were very aware of everything that was going on. After I got back from the interview on whatever day that was, the next day we started our preparation for the NCAA tournament. I said, "Hey guys, I interviewed yesterday."
Yeah.
I mean, it was already pretty much out there anyway, but probably y'all broke it. But there you go.
Don't look at me.
But I told him that, but I said, look, that part of the process is over. I'm locked in on this. Whatever happens with that, we'll see what happens with that. But like, I don't care about that right now. We're going to the NCAA tournament. We're going to finish this off, and we're going to do everything we can. So I think it helps me compartmentalize things. All right, that part's over. Let's focus on this, and then when this is over, we'll go back to focus on the next on the next thing. And I think our guys appreciate that. Hey, they always know where it stands. They always know where things stand, and there's not going to be any surprises. I don't think people like surprises unless it's a good birthday present. But most of the time, people don't like surprises, and you got to understand. I mean, you know, your decision. These are big decisions that you have to make in fairly quick amount of time, and it affects a ton of people. I mean, we were going to the NCAA tournament. We had our players, but all of their families were there. Their extended families were there. I mean,
this is a moment.
I mean, there's a lot of people that my decision affects. You know, not to mention my coaching staff, my support staff, their families, I mean, you know, there's hundreds of people that the decision affects, and so the least you can do is be forthright with everybody and tell them kind of where we stand and what we're thinking.
It also extends itself, though, to your arrival here. I'll just be upfront and say I appreciate the fact that you haven't shied away from the fact that, yeah, you got State or you got Duke and Carolina. You have to understand the context, the amount of years here and previous coaches that kind of shied away from it, kind of contextualizing, oh, well, you know, things are a little bit different here than it is with the rest of the ACC. Understand, ... You came right out of the gate. Like, no, I'm here. We're here. We're going to bring this thing back. We're not used to that here. So have you been surprised by the reaction to that, the acceptance of that? Have you had people say, hey, man, like, we haven't heard that in a while?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just the way I'm wired.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got unbelievable stuff here. If we maximize what we're doing here, why can't we be as good as anybody? I think we can be one of the best teams in college basketball if we maximize all of our resources and maximize everything we have. We can compete with anybody. And I think, look, what happens is everybody, I say this sometimes, the players make the program. The program doesn't make the players. People get that out of whack. And look, if we had to go, you know, if when we play these other teams, it's this year's NC State team versus this year's whoever team.
Sure.
The history and all that stuff has very little to do with any of it. It's what we can do now. And so my point being, what we can do now is be as good as anybody in the country. Now, I don't know whether it's been that way for, you know, the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or the last, 10 minutes. I don't know. But what we can do now is be as good as anybody in the country if we maximize what we have and we maximize everybody we have and everything we have. So let's go do it. And if we're as good as anybody in the country, then we're certainly going to be as good as anybody in this area or anybody in this state. And, there's no reason we can't do it. There's nothing that's holding us back. And now that we've got a little bit of unity amongst all of us, it's time to go do it.
I feel like you already have a pretty decent understanding of the triangle and the dynamics here because of your own marriage. Like your wife graduated from UNC, and not like in the dark Matt Doherty era years. Like, if my math's right, she was there for the 05 national championship, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
You get it.
the people I know who went to Carolina, including his wife, they are like way into Carolina basketball. How do we deprogram Lauren as a UNC fan?
She looks at that paycheck every month.
Okay.
Hey, good luck, because
That green looks better than that
one's better
Carolina
than the
blue.
blue.
Yeah.
Hey,
that green looks real good to her, I think.
But you understand how we all kind of coexist.
Look, her family, her family's been season ticket holders. They still have season tickets. Her brother went there. She went there. They're into it. And her dad, when I was at other schools, he used to ask me for, he's a big fan, but he used to ask me for, recruit. Hey, are we getting this kid? Are we getting that kid? What are you hearing on this? Like, he'd ask me for recruiting intel on what they were doing. But I'm happy to report they've all been wearing NC State stuff. They're coming around.
That's
Obviously, my wife's easy to come around.
Right.
Okay.
But they've all been coming around, and so I think that's what makes this area in the ACC unique. Is that you have a lot of, let's call it split families. You have a lot of crossover within the office space and where you work. You have a lot of crossover at church. You have a lot everywhere you go. There's a lot of crossover, which I think adds to the passion. And to hit on your earlier point as well, I think that's our people want to have some pride about that. It's been a while since we've had some pride. We've maybe had the upper hand in all those exchanges, and that's our job to give them that pride.
I guess the reason why I brought it up is because when the NC State job comes up, okay, and there's been multiple times where the job has come up, usually one of the talking points is, why do you want to deal with that mess? Those dynamics, as you just kind of laid out. And I think the part that I was trying to get at is you seem to be embracing that. Maybe using it to your advantage.
I don't see it as a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
We've got good competition around us, and let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, if we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to be right there with anybody.
Although, to Joe's point about the Carolina stuff, Kelly, my wife, she's a UNC graduate, but she went to Duke Law. That did not change anything at all. That she was very clear about when those games were happening, who she was pulling for with her friends who were pulling for Duke. So that's going to be an interesting week when NC State and Carolina play for the first time. That'll be an interesting week.
You'll enjoy the football game. I want to ask you about this year's team, but before we get there, I feel like the honesty, the transparency, and by the way, I will not apologize for breaking news before your season ended, but I will commend you for the way that you handled it, because I've never seen a coach do that before, the way that you did, particularly when you compare that to what happened at Colorado State and West Virginia. So bully for you for that honesty. I'm curious, though, like there's a tendency to kind of yada, yada, yada what happened at LSU, right? Because it's like, well, it's all legal now. But you went through a lot there in 5 years. I mean, you had investigations, suspensions, a wiretap, for God's sake, and the IARP. Who could forget the IARP? I have someone,
IARP.
Yeah.
someone who's scarred by having to cover the IARP. I will just tell you, even for me, it was a lot. And also, speaking from our own experience, getting fired is not fun, but it does give you a chance to figure out like where you're going to go with your life and how do you improve yourself. So I'm curious, what part of that LSU experience, obviously at the end of it, kind of helped you at McNeese and then kind of put you in this position at NC State where you are now?
At the time, it's obviously disappointing when you get fired and when you've been through so much. It's disappointing. But like you said, you have to look in the mirror. I put myself in that situation. We put ourselves in that situation. And, looking back and having some perspective, you got to look in the mirror and say that, hey, this is on me. This is my fault. This is what I did. And then it's how are you going to respond? And response is, focus on the next most important thing. Like that's in the rearview mirror. So what can we do? What can we do to move forward? And I look back on it now, and it's just, you look back on it, it's a blessing. Like, and I hope to coach for a long time, and I hope to win national championships here at NC State. But, I don't know if I'll ever have the opportunity to make the impact that we made at McNeese. Those 2 years were the best years of my coaching life. And, we went to the NCAA tournament a couple times, and we won the game. But just having the opportunity to impact the community and the area and the school enrollment, the increase in enrollment. I mean, the school was online. I mean, there's a lot of different things that don't meet the eye that we were all chipping in on. Without getting fired at LSU, I'd have never had that opportunity. Yeah. And I never had the perspective to appreciate that. I appreciated every day there. Every day was like magic. Just with the people and,
Heath's a really good dude.
Everything. Oh, he's the best. And our president, Dr. Roos, I mean, everybody's just phenomenal. So without being fired, I would have never had the perspective to appreciate that. I was just trying to, like you mentioned me at VC, I mean, it's just climb as quick as you can. And now it's much more, hey, let's take a deep breath. Let's look at it. I'm so appreciative of everything we have here at NC State. We can sit here, back to your earlier point, we can sit here and complain about what we don't have, or we can appreciate what we do have.
Yeah.
The reality is, we have what we need. Does everybody always want more? Certainly you want more, but we got everything we need. And so, before I'd be charging in here wanting this redone and that redone. And now, none of that stuff matters. Like we got good players, we got good people, we got really good folks in our building, and let's focus on that, and let's worry about that. But you got to have some adversity. I'd had a pretty charmed coaching career until that point. We'd won everywhere we'd been. Everybody kind of accepted that, and so you need.
It'll be that way forever.
You need some, that's what you think, and you need to be knocked off the ladder a little bit. And so, I think looking back, it was a positive experience, and like I said, I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had in McNeese. I wouldn't have had this great opportunity that we have here at NC State. And look, LSU is a place. If that doesn't happen, I'd have probably stayed there 20, 25 years and retired from there. But now I've been able to go to other schools, see other things, and it's been a good experience, a blessing in disguise, as they call it.
You don't get to ask for improvements at NC State because your VCU facility was because of NC State. Don't forget that.
You're right
As
about
when
that.
I went and saw you in 2017, Debbie Howe goes, my name should be on that practice facility.
You're right about that. No, the practice facility of VCU is magnificent. It's magnificent.
So you've already benefited once.
That's what I was talking about, though. Like when I had the VCU job, I didn't appreciate all that. It was just like, all right, well, let's just go to the next place. Let's go to the next place. VCU is an incredible place. The facilities, the arena, the selling out, everything. It's
the Peppas.
The Peppas.
They were good.
My guy Ryan. It's a tremendous spot, and I didn't have the appreciation then that I have now, and that comes with a little bit of perspective.
Talk to me a little bit about this team. You brought in a lot of players, and that's the nature of college basketball now. If you ever listen to our podcast, you'll hear me say that college basketball is a year-to-year proposition. But you did some serious. You and Andrew Slater did some serious work in the transfer portal, but impressed with 1 through 12, but at some point there's going to be money on the table and someone's going to have to make a play. Who do you see as being that guy making the shot for you when it matters?
I think it's going to change based on who's the hot hand that night. We've got multiple options for that, which is what we like. We've got some versatility on the roster. So Andrew, his staff, Patrick, and my staff, on the assistant coaching side with Adam, Brandon, and Vernon, they did a tremendous job, along with Andrew and Patrick, of getting this roster, together. And as you said, you can no longer build a program. You're just building a team year to year. You just got to build your team, play your team, pick up the pieces at the end of the year, and go build a new team. Yeah. And so it's a little bit it's a little bit different. But we've got obviously Darian Williams. We've got Paul McNeil. We've got Matt Abel. We've got Trey Holloman, who's hit big shots. Copeland hadn't shied away from big moments. We have a lot of guys, that are fully capable of making plays for us, and a lot of it's going to be where's the hot hand, where's the mismatch, where do we have the best opportunity in terms of the mismatch, and we'll feed that guy and go with that guy.
I remember your VCU teams, your LSU teams, very deep. And obviously, you got a lot of guys on this team. What is your kind of ideal rotation size?
Probably play 9, 8 to 9 is my ideal size, and that's probably what we'll go with. And have a 10th that's ready, 9th and 10th or 10th that's ready to play, and in a pinch.
I'm curious about the roster construction, as you mentioned. You're building a team year to year. Things have kind of settled, maybe, in terms of when you're out recruiting, when you're out in the transfer portal. Have things kind of settled into some sort of groove? There's expectations or a typical kind of meeting now, or are you still learning on the road? I didn't think about that. Somebody came to me with something. I went, I haven't thought about that one.
There's always something new because every situation's different. There's no cookie cutter in recruiting. We were in a home visit last night, and we thought we'd be there an hour and a half. We were there 3 hours.
Okay.
And we got I got some tremendous questions from the father. First time I'd been asked. I've been doing this. I've been a head coach 12, 13 years. Yeah. 2 of his questions were the first time I've ever been asked that question.
Can I ask you what those questions were?
They were great questions. I don't want to get into that, but it wasn't about money or anything like that.
I was just curious.
It was more about relationships. And
sure.
Talk about when you've had a difficult parent. How have you dealt with it? It was really good questions. And we had a great conversation. That's how hour and a half and dinner turned into 3 hours. And, and it was a great night. but I think every recruitment's unique, every situation's unique, every situation's different. So there's no real one size fits all, and everybody goes about it a little bit different. So I don't look at it like there's a set way to do things or a set standard on how you do things. It's more situational awareness and being able to adapt and adjust and make sure that we're handling the situation properly.
It's interesting you bring up that parent because it got my wheels turning in that. I'm thinking
hockey dad, junior hockey dad.
It's not so much about that, but it's more along the lines of if the money's the money, it's ironic that it goes back to the relationships again, right?
Oh, the relationships matter. I mean, the relationships matter. I mean, first off, they got to trust that you're going to pay the bill. There's a lot of people There's a lot of people that don't pay the bill.
I've seen a few headlines about that.
You've got to trust that you're going to pay the bill.
Yeah.
And we always say money follows, it doesn't lead. So pick the best place and then let us go figure out the money with your representation. You may not get everything you want. We may not get everything we want, but we'll figure something out that's workable for both ends.
Yeah.
90% of the time that part of it works. But you still have to sell. I mean, look, these people, when you're dealing with kids who want to be one and done, or you're dealing with kids that are high level players, like, doesn't matter how much money you offer them, if they don't think you're going to help them basketball wise, and they don't think that your strength and conditioning and your nutrition and your athletic training and your mental performance, if they don't think those people are worth a flip, then they're still not sending them to you. You could be $1 million over the next place, but it's going to cost them $12 million over the next 3 years. They're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
So you still have to have the basketball piece. You've got to have the relationship piece. And then the final component now is you've got to have the resources to make it competitive and make it work. I mean, of all the kids we put on this year's team, I'd say maybe I think we brought in, 11, 12 guys. I would say maybe on 3 of them, we were the highest bidder.
Okay.
Maybe on 3. I think there were, and even on our best players, there were other schools that were higher than us.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about substantially.
Sure.
But there were other schools that were higher than us for, probably 75% of our guys, but they still came here. So, you still got to have all of that. It's still a relationship-based business.
Is that what you were trying to get at with Van Allen Lubin when you went viral? That's another dynamic aspect of it. I knew you were like at a fundraising event or like at a booster event, and you're doing what a coach would do. You're getting the crowd hyped up. You're working the crowd. Totally understand this. But cameras are always rolling now.
Oh, yeah.
Now, did you expect that to get out like the way that it did? Or like what was your – because your point was, hey, here's a guy that wasn't being utilized. And to your point about relationships and what am I going to get, you're going to be utilized here. I got what your point was, but you had a little rivalry sprinkle to that, and that's how it takes off. Was that something that you didn't expect to get out?
So now your tell is your smile. You know this, right?
It's that smile, man. I know what that tell is.
You know this, right?
I didn't. I understand anywhere I sit down, cameras are rolling.
Okay. Got it. I got my answer on that one.
We'll let you.
Non-answer.
Well, he didn't say that he wasn't used properly. He said these were his numbers when he was given the opportunity.
The point was we were going to give him the opportunity to use him at his best self.
Yes.
We'll let you go on this. It's really not fair that you're smarter than us. It's really not fair. We accept that you're a better basketball coach than us. We get that part, right? Young, good-looking, energetic, all these great things. Rich, all these great things, man. You can't be better at us, though, than the media stuff. In these videos that you've done with your players, introducing the players, they've been fantastic.
That's where I just got back from. I was filming one. That's where I was coming back from. We dropped him off at class. That's why he wasn't why he wasn't on the golf cart. So he had to let me in.
So quick context. I'm here. I'm waiting on Craig to let me in. He lets me in the lobby. He's kind of getting things set up, and here comes Coach Wade in a golf cart. He can't get in his own building. I'm like, wait a minute.
My keys in my briefcase.
Over here.
Yeah, I left my keys in my briefcase.
So I'm guessing
after taping this, you may have wanted to leave me outside.
There's got to be a lot of prep that goes into that. You've learned a lot about some local institutions, and Colt Langdon, I think, has helped you tremendously. But
well, Reed, my special assistant, he gives me a few prep notes on where we're going and that sort of thing. The player stuff I know. Like we recruited them, so like that part of it's easy. Now sometimes you got to tell them, all right, look, now you got to talk to me Like you're not looking at the camera.
Right,
Like this
right,
is a
right.
conversation between us. Don't worry about the cameras, because they're not. Some of them are not as used to
Mm-hmm.
doing those sort of things. So, but the prep, there's no prep work because I know the people, I know the family, I know all that stuff. So you can just rattle that stuff off your head. But sometimes, I learn about the history and I always try to do some history. We were recruiting yesterday, and I went to a former president's house because we had about 2 hours before we had to get to the high school. And the president's house was 12 miles. Former president's house was 12 miles away. So Andrew and I went up there and spent a little time walking around there. So I try to do something, talking on the phone outside. So I try to do something cool when we're out and we have a little bit of time if we can.
I still got to prep Giglio on mic use. You had no issues.
you
Whatever.
did-
I just needed
you
to get a
did.
level for you, and we were good to go.
You did really
say
well.
that until you've got to edit this.
Nah,
with all
actually,
the,
I'm-
until you got to edit.
I'm looking
this
at
with
Adobe
all-
right now. I'm
with
looking at
all
Adobe
the-
right now,
he's on
man. It's perfect.
with
It's all
all
good.
with all the movement. But look, you guys have a tough job. That stuff's not easy, and a lot of it you got to think on your toes and process things quickly and play off of what they say. Like sometimes I have a plan on what I want to talk about, and then they talk about something. It's like, oh no, we'll go off on
go
that.
over here,
We'll go
right.
off on that, and kind of go off that. So that stuff's not easy to do, and especially for us, if something goes wrong, we're editing.
Yes.
When you're on live radio or you're on live TV,
Lean into
there's a
it.
little bit delay,
you
but
just
there's no
figure it out.
editing on that.
People appreciate the realness. You just lean into that sort of thing. So
Yeah, your crew has done a really good job this summer. I'm not just telling you that.
it's part of the modernization
Compare
of
and
college
contrast
basketball,
if
though.
you'd like with other coaches who have just been introduced in 2025 in the triangle. I'll just let you interpret that at your own, but your crew's done a really good job.
I'm not going to comment on that. Trying to walk
That's
me down
fine.
another.
You don't have
trying
to.
walk me down
I'll do
another
it for you.
Another rabbit hole there.
Now I know you were downtown last night with my guy Greg. Yesterday, Greg Hatem
I've been downtown
from
with-
Empire Properties, our
Yeah.
guy. So he said, make sure I said hi to you. And I lied to you. I couldn't let you go on this one. I learned something.
Those
today.
restaurants are tremendous, by the way.
They are. Morning
Pit.
Times, great coffee.
The Pit,
Raleigh Times, you got to get the nachos. at
Raleigh Times. I went to the Raleigh. We ate lunch at the Raleigh Times with him. Reed and I ate lunch with Greg last week at the Raleigh Times, and tremendous.
You did well.
Tremendous.
See?
Tremendous.
But I did actually prep today. Like it's rare.
This is impressive. This is I've
it's
never
rare. So
seen him like
I
this.
do have to
So-
break this off. I knew you didn't play college basketball at Clemson. Chris Poole,
Yep.
local legend, Broughton legend.
That's right.
Chris and I go way back, and
Great guy.
it really is truly. I wish the alley was still on Hillsborough Street, the old bowling alley.
Bowling
Yeah.
alley. I actually have a cutting board from the old bowling alley.
Yeah,
itself.
it was a great spot. I did not know you didn't play high school basketball though.
No, I played JV. I think my freshman year, and maybe my sophomore. Yeah, I was no good.
Okay,
It was no good.
It was.
Golf, it was
Okay. Was your handicap better in high school or is it better now
way better when I was in high school and
when you were
college.
playing?
I was actually a decent little player at that
Okay.
point.
okay.
Now I can play in scrambles, and I'm not embarrassing. That's the best part about golf game is I'm not embarrassing.
Was there?
I can get through a round with one sleeve of balls.
See now.
that's
better than me.
That's probably the best I can do golf wise these days.
I was gonna say, something tells me you don't play a lot of golf though.
No, I think I've played one time since I've been at NC State. It was with some some
Yeah.
folks. I maybe play 4 to 5 times a year.
Was your? See now I'm curious. Sorry, you got me curious now. When did it hit you? Like, do I keep trying the golf thing? Do I try to go get a card? Like, was there a moment where you're nah, I'm done?
No, I wasn't that good.
It wasn't
but
that okay.
I wasn't that good, but I mean, I could have played. I could have kept playing, and look, it's a good skill to have. I didn't realize it at the time. It's
Oh, I
a
tell that
great
to my
skill
kids.
for
Yeah.
fundraising.
Yep.
I mean, I tell my daughter all the time. She's a competitive gymnast, but I tell her all the time, like, you need to take up tennis or golf. Like those are
Pickleball
Like, if you
now.
want to, pickleball now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Tennis courts are all turned to pickleball
Yeah,
courts.
yeah.
But if that's where a lot of deals are made. That's where business is done. I mean, I didn't realize it at the time, but having a decent little swing and being able to
Tell a story.
maneuver out there, is beneficial to being a basketball coach.
The Roback OG Golf Classic is tomorrow, so weather permitting.
Weather
So
permitting.
we're very familiar with this concept.
Where is it?
Eagle Ridge.
Okay,
Yeah, you're invited.
You're
Come on
invited. You
down,
can.
Coach.
I'm
I'll be a little busy tomorrow.
You probably, yeah.
I'm
You
a
got things going on.
lefty.
It's hard. It's hard to carve out. I mean,
No, you can't.
for that's
4
going to be
hours.
5 or 6 hours
No.
probably.
Parmax.
Okay, so 4.
Par
Yeah,
max.
we're getting
so
out
we,
there.
We,
Moving
we get
it.
it done.
I gotcha.
Yes.
And I'll have the 12 wood out. No, the 13 wood.
13.
The 13 wood.
Yeah.
I actually have
He
an old
doesn't
man.
play.
I have an old club, an old man's club. It's a 13 wood. It's a real thing. I don't know if you knew those existed or not.
I did not know that until now. I learned something every day.
There you go. 13 wood. One of our listeners found it for me, and that gets the job done. I can hit those better than an iron.
It does.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for having us out, and good luck this season.
Thanks for having me.
A little bit of housekeeping as I correct the YouTube here. So let's hit it, shall we? Housekeeping is brought to you by Enovana. Check them out online at enovana.com.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
You know, we had one of our listeners point out, I hope you brought Will Wade some OG Light. Us. We did not bring him OG Light.
Well, now we know what to get him, though.
Oh, well,
Sharpies and the right card
Oh,
stock.
we're going to bring him Sharpies, cardstock, and OG Light when we see him at ACC tip-off in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
I think that's an easy thing to do. You can get OG Light at the home base, Peachtree Market.
Yeah, I just went over there today.
They
Got
had
some for our guys at Copiers Plus.
Perfect.
Because Drew down in Fayetteville was like, where do I get OG Light? And I was like, well,
Distribution is very limited right now. But you can get it at Peachtree Market in
Yes, you
downtown
can.
Raleigh, and you can get it at the Butcher's Market as well.
Big shouts to Carl,
Mhm.
our guy at NC State, the ice cream guy at
Yeah.
NC State. Came in, see Leanne earlier in the week, and then went over to Peachtree and got himself some OG Light.
Perfect. I love that. And you can also get it at Longleaf Swine as well. Big thanks to our friends at Longleaf Swine. You can check them out at longleafswine.com. Get some brunch this weekend. May I remind you to get some brunch? That's all I ask you to do.
Shouts to our guys at the Swine, our second place team.
Mhm.
Tomorrow's tournament will get $100 gift cards.
Excellent.
To Swine.
One other note to remind you in housekeeping, go to breakingtea.com/OG. Again, that's breakingtea.com/OG, or just click on the link in our podcast description or YouTube description. That takes you directly to our landing page, but it also kicks in the referral link too. Canes are back this week with the preseason games. Had the community game last night, sold out, raised a whole hell of a lot of money, which is great to hear. And we've got the start of the season in a couple of weeks. So we'll be excited for that. And you can get your Cane stuff at breakingtea.com. Okay. They got great Cane shirts, and you use our referral link. We get a little cut of that. I just want to let everybody know. All right. Is he ready? Does he actually want to? What do you think Gordon actually wants to talk about? Does he want to talk about interest rates, or does he want to talk about the Detroit Tigers?
Well,
Hi, Gordon. How are you, sir?
Oh, just stunned and amazed. That's all. I'm considering making this a playoff beard, and I may shave on Saturday when we get eliminated.
now I will say, I can vouch for this. Back when Detroit was running hot
Mm-hmm.
and Cleveland was not, Gordon told me to get a Indians, Guardians to win the division ticket. And I think it was 12-1. Was it 12-1?
At that time, it was 2,500 for 100.
25-1. And he grabbed it.
25
So
to
see
1.
how this is how smart Gordon Miller is. This is how he can see the future. He saw his teams collapse coming. Hey, but
Yeah.
you didn't see that Lions win coming in Baltimore, though. That was pretty impressive.
That was good.
See, now that was impressive, and I'm just hoping that there's no surprise against the Browns this week, because Detroit's a pretty depressing place right now. Extremely depressing sports radio. Nobody even wants to listen. It's an epic collapse, and everyone has stopped hitting, and the bullpen is a mess, and it's a perfect storm. And Houston's lost 5 in a row, so they need to win, because right now we're in the third wild card. I don't even want the third wild card at this point. Just make it stop, please. Just make it stop.
You hit a reset, Gordon.
They
Although
lost 26 of 30. That's wild.
that is crazy. I am curious.
Cleveland went 17-2. Cleveland's gone 17-2, and they're up by 1 game.
I mean, look, what Cleveland's been able to do is unbelievable. I haven't been paying that much attention to baseball, but when it breaks through and I see their record during this stretch, it's like, okay, man, sometimes you just got to tip your cap and say, great job, man. I mean, is Detroit helping? Of course, but they got to win, which is exactly what they've been doing. Before I ask you about interest rates, though, and tell
Yes.
people how they can save money every single time refinancing with you, Gordon, at Miller Lending.
Yes.
As a Detroit man, Casey, you know, the home of Casey Kasem and his dead dog dedications. What would be it? What would you rather have? Would you rather have a Detroit Tigers World Series, a Detroit Lions Super Bowl, the Pistons back?
No, he's already been alive for Tigers and Pistons.
And you've seen the Red Wings win
a lot
of those, including over the Carolina Hurricanes back in 2002. So
I was there till
You were
1:30 in the morning. 1:30 in the morning when Mariana finally scored. Yeah,
I was too. I was too. What would you rather have? A Lions Super Bowl or a Tigers World Series?
Lions Super Bowl.
Okay.
1,000%. I was ready to make a deal with the devil when it was 24/7 at the half 2 years ago. I was good. It's like, all right, you know, if we get to a Super Bowl,
take me now.
Take me now.
Ready to go.
I don't even care. I'll be the commotion in section 138 that just had a heart attack. I don't care.
No, I know he's being serious. I know he's serious.
You know I am serious, right?
You're also
absolutely 100% serious.
You're also serious about saving people money, Gordon. All right, so explain like I'm five. There's been a lot of discussion about the current state of interest rates. I might hear a commercial and it's like, the rates are below 5. Act now. They haven't been this low in 3 years and they're going to go back up. I feel like I've been hearing this for 25 years. What's the real story here, man?
Oh my God. You know, and here's what we deal with every time the Federal Reserve cuts rates is it doesn't necessarily translate into mortgage rates.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the one thing I did know was that we were going to start to hear ads of rates in the 4s and rates have dropped. And there's a big problem with these quotes because the closing costs have gotten to be insane, just totally out of this world. We're seeing $15,000 to $20,000 closing cost quotes in order to give somebody a 5.99 30-year fix so they don't have to be at 6 or above. And that's the craziest thing to me. When you got all these economists and experts, supposed experts, talking about lower rates next year, because you have all these sellers that are at 3% or below, it would be tough to not see an environment where rates drop. So here we are, you know, paying 5, 10, 15, 20 grand in closing costs. And Miller Lending has been doing no closing cost loans. The first one I did was in 1987. And it was because people were chasing rates. So they were coming from 18 to 16 to 13 to 11 to 9 to 7. And they were paying 15 grand every time. And it just didn't make any sense. So we were able to figure out how to do no closing cost loans. It's just the rate. You don't have to pay 15 grand to lower your payment. It doesn't cost you anything. And the beauty of it is that people that closed in January in the mid 7s are already coming back. So what are you paying a bunch of costs to get? It's not financially making any more sense than losing 8 in a row when you just need 2 wins to make the playoffs.
On that note, contact Miller Lending today, millerlending.com/OG. Again, that's millerlending.com/TheOG, I should say. millerlending.com/TheOG. Take that thing to close. You're going to get a Raleigh Wine Shop gift basket. And Joe Giglio is going to personally give you a game-worn Rowback. He might actually give you the jersey Rowback he wore to the Will Wade interview today.
Wow.
It's a game-worn jersey. Signed.
Will he wash it?
It depends. You might have to pay more for it unwashed. There's something on the internet for everybody, Gordon.
It's like Porky's in sweat socks, right? I don't know. But
wow.
Yeah, you know, and just don't forget the gift baskets because we just gave another one.
I mentioned the gift basket. I mentioned the gift basket
to a satisfied client on Monday. So yes, and Joe, Porky's was a great movie. It's just classic. Don't worry about it. We're on. It's a podcast. Call it like you see it.
Scallywhacker.
All right, Gordon Miller Lending. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you later.
You got it, guys. Thanks.
You'll be fine with the Lions. Give them a call, 919-447-3377. Speaking of houses, may I remind you that Hometown Realty can help you out with these things. Check them out online at myhtr.com. The money that you save from financing with Miller Lending and refinancing and the like, and you can buy a house with Hometown Realty, myhtr.com. You could use that money to just get a whole bunch of new shades and blinds, maybe even some automation with our friends Bloom and Blinds. That'd be helpful.
Sounds amazing to me.
So check them out online, bloomandblinds.com, or call them directly at 919-980-9815. So you bought your house, you financed it with Miller Lending, you've used the savings to buy some blinds. I can find more savings for you. Our guy, Matt Davis, State Farm. You might think, look, maybe you're not even interested in buying a house or whatever it is, but you've had your insurance for a long time. When's the last time you actually called and asked, hey, am I maximizing my insurance rates right now? Yes, no, maybe. There's only one way to find out. That is to call Matt Davis over at State Farm. So call him directly at 919-779-8277 or visit insuregarner.com. You bought that house? One of the reasons why you bought that house, or maybe you did a refinance to do a big old outdoor kitchen. Awesome, right? Why would you ruin the investment by not taking care of it, though, every season? And now's the prime time to do it. Contact our friends at ncgrillrescue.com. Again, that's ncgrillrescue.com. They're going to make that grill look brand new. Don't let it rust out. Don't let it get bad. Clean it. It's going to be fantastic. They always do a fantastic job. Check them out at ncgrillrescue.com. And of course, our friends at Happy and Hale. As I mentioned, we had that hockey break last night. We got hockey breaks coming your way here soon.
Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hale.
And yes, I've seen your mailbag questions about a particular player. We'll probably get to that tomorrow's mailbag. But in the meantime, let's keep it breezy, easy, in and out, shall we? It's about going to Happy and Hale. Using that promo code OG25, you'll save 25% one-time order, and you can order ahead, pick up, and go so that it makes your busy days a heck of a lot easier. So check them out at Happy and Hale. Joe,
Yes, sir. What you got?
we got football tonight.
Yes.
Quick turnaround for ECU after
Disappointing
Yeah.
effort in the second quarter in particular.
yeah, things kind of melted down for ECU. They got Army tonight. They got the spotlight on them on a Thursday night. That's nice to see. Thursday night football still matters, I think. And ECU fans are hyped up about this. Shout out to the ECU fans, by the way, that picked up on the Tim Pernetti interview that we had earlier in the week with the American commissioner. They liked what Tim Pernetti had to say. I think he's a guy who gets it. And if you missed that interview, it was on yesterday's podcast. I highly recommend you check it out. So what do we got tonight between the Pirates and Army?
As a general rule of thumb, I do not bet against Army. I mean, the number.
Well, it's because you respect the troops.
That's not that.
That's not the reason why.
They do not give up. I can promise you that. So it has to be a small number, and it is a small number tonight. They're a weird team. Army ran roughshod through the American last year. They opened the year with a home loss to Tarleton, a 1AA team.
Tarleton State, where is that? Tarleton, where is that?
Some team from Texas, it looks like.
It wasn't a misspelling of Charleston.
No, there's no S. There's no
okay,
S.
gotcha. Just wanted to double check on
But
that.
then they go on the road and they beat Kansas State 24-21. And then they come home. Now, North Texas is one of the better teams in the American, but apparently Army should not be playing anybody in Texas or from Texas.
Fair.
So here they are. They're on the road. They play ECU tonight, 1-2. The Pirates are 2-2.
I love DraftKings.
Yeah,
because they have essentially a respect the troops quick game parlay.
No, they don't.
Yes, Armed Forces United. If you're so inclined, it's plus 787. Army to win, Air Force 6.5 over Hawaii, and Navy 14 minus 14 over Rice.
Ooh.
Respect the troops,
respect
Joe.
the troops.
You know what? Because I respect the troops, I'm going to put $5 down on this quick game parlay and salute to the troops. Hopefully they pay that back.
No, I hope Caton Hauser cuts down on some of his mistakes from the BYU game. And I hope, this is now the third time in the spotlight for ECU. I would like to see them put it together, right? They had the slow start against NC State. I thought they outplayed them, most of the second half. And then you have the game against BYU where they really kind of got themselves caught up in circles with turnovers at the end of the second quarter. So I would like for them to put it together in a full effort. And I think that starts with Caton Hauser.
Now, moving over to NC State's home game against Virginia Tech, 7 o'clock, Carter Finley Stadium. This has moved since the last time that we checked. NC State is 10.5 over Virginia Tech. I maintain that Virginia Tech had that bounce back, got the new interim coach after moving on from Brent Pry. They stuck it to Wofford. I get all that stuff, but I've seen more out of Virginia Tech and their inability to stop anybody this year. And I think that continues on Saturday. This isn't about Dave Dorn or anything else. This is about NC State cleaning up the mistakes in a very winnable game for them against Duke this past weekend. I don't expect CJ Baylor to have back-to-back games with those types of mistakes. I don't expect a fluky, weird offsides that wasn't center exchange that was a mistake that led to it not being a neutral zone infraction, right? So there's also or a straight up offsides. So I think I know what happens, right? I know the table was set for people to be annoyed at NC State because of the wins over Virginia and Wake Forest rather than kind of taking it for what it was, understanding what this NC State season is going to be about, and then it not happening against Duke. And to Duke's credit, cleaning up their own mistakes, because I said the same thing about the Blue Devils. Those were very, very winnable games against Tulane and Illinois if they just stopped tripping over themselves. So I think that State will probably have this bounce back. I don't think Virginia Tech is a good team. I don't think they're that talented as NC State is. And I think one thing that we know about Dave Dorn, they're going to clean that kind of stuff up. I think we'll get a cleaner game out of CJ Bailey. They better, because we also know that their defense just is what it is at this point.
I hate this number.
Okay.
It's too much. Virginia Tech came here in 2022. They were not a good football team. They led most of that game. That was the MJ Morris shining moment, shining moment. I don't like the number. Unless there's a mass exodus now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know in warm-ups if half of Virginia Tech's roster has decided to transfer.
I agree with you, right?
So, but if they have drones and some other guys who just are now footloose and fancy free, one thing I would caution, because I know we've been riding these overs, the weather is supposed to be for shit.
Yeah, it's garbage
in this game. And I could see, as someone who has tickets to this game, I could see there being a lightning delay for this game. And we've seen these now where, whether it was the Eagles and Cowboys in the NFL opener, or whether it was Clemson and Syracuse, the lightning delay comes in and it kind of completely changes the complexion of the game.
Yeah.
So this is another one. Unfortunately, I'm just telling you to stay away from this one.
Paul says Law of the Wolf, Virginia Tech by 14.
It would be a law. I'm telling you, there's not anything I like about this game.
I was going to say this one.
What you're saying.
This one has your spidey senses tingling. It doesn't for me.
I like what you're saying about CJ Bailey. It is logical that he is going to play a better football game this week. It is logical that Virginia Tech has surely given up on their season. Logical.
That's an easy thing to do to bounce.
Logical.
It's an easy thing to do to bounce back, and they did it when they did it because you should beat Wofford.
Right. You wouldn't want to play them last week or whatever. I'm just telling you, I don't like this. I don't like this setup.
Okay. What about Syracuse Duke? Duke is actually a road favorite against the Orange at -4.5.
Yeah, this is the combo platter of is Syracuse playing with their own popsicle after beating Klemp.
Also, they lost their quarterback.
And their quarterback. No, this is not the quarterback. This is not Kyle McCord from last year. So my guess is they probably have an acceptable backup. It's a tough test for Duke. It's a tough test for Syracuse, because when you party like a rock star after a win, it can be hard to reload the musket. This might be a reload the musket, and it could very well be for Duke, to your point. Hey, when we don't do stupid things on special teams,
funny how that works.
We don't turn the ball over, guess what we do? We win.
Now, what's interesting you mentioned the enjoying your own popsicle. Is that how you put it? Right.
I cleaned that up for you.
Thank you. From one of our listeners on Blue Sky from CKWNY, he says, "Ugh, Joe and Joe mentioned this today as it relates to Fran Brown and how he's going to be a hot coaching name." And sure enough, USA Today puts this out after an impressive start to the Syracuse football rebuild. Fran Brown will be the biggest name in 2026 in the hiring cycle. I disagree that he's going to be the biggest.
Not the biggest, but
that's going to be John Summerall. John Summerall is going to be the biggest
Lane
name.
Kiffin's the biggest name.
You think Lane Kiffin's going to be?
Yeah, he'll leave.
We'll get to Lane Kiffin in a second, by the way, because you know me, I love mess.
Yeah.
And it's actually more of we should probably steal from Bill Simmons and do a parenting corner on this one, but we'll get to that in a second. No, I think this is a classic case of everybody's pumping your tires. Everybody's telling you you're great. And Fran Brown's telling you, hey, man, Syracuse fans are all freaking out. We're going to be able to keep this guy. They got a letdown game coming up. They absolutely got a letdown game coming up. Meanwhile, we've got Florida State versus Virginia. This was the other one that I was highly curious about because this has been sticking at -7 for Florida State tomorrow night with the over-under set at 60.5. Now, that part doesn't surprise me because Virginia, as State fans know, and what we've seen from that game, they're feisty offensively. And I think that Florida State is still dealing with a little bit of the, was it really about you or was it really about Alabama? And that's why I don't think anybody's really buying in on that. People are trying to sell me on this version of Florida State. I understand why, but we're going to find out real quick what this is about tonight against a Virginia team that some people had identified just from easy schedule-wise.
Yeah.
But they've been in games this year. It'll be a curious one.
Virginia has a very good offense. I like the way that they're playing. They seemingly are playing for their coach, who desperately
Tony
needs
Elliott.
to have a productive season this year. Let me give you a little tip, though. When the book puts it at 7, that means they think the favorite is going to run.
Okay.
And they're going to win the game. They're going to run away with it because they think they've talked you in. They're tricking you into, no, it's going to be a close game. They're going to lose by a touchdown, or I can push it to 7.5 and I'll cover. No, the book is telling you Florida State runs away with this game. And I have a tendency to agree with the book. Virginia is not an intimidating environment. I hope the guy is recording who had me last week, by the way. Virginia is not an intimidating environment. They're not the guy who recorded my Clemson prediction.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. He just ran it back.
Yeah. Not an intimidating environment. This is not like a house of horrors. This is, you know what the real issue here is? Seriously, you know what the real issue is for Virginia? And for your theory, if this game's played on the Raycom network at noon and no one's paying attention, we've seen Florida State and Miami go in there and fall asleep and lose.
That's not this game.
That's not this game. This is a spotlight game. To your point, the last time we saw Florida State, they were kicking ass and taking names. What are they going to look like? And I really, really believe in Gus Malzahn, the play caller. And I think Mike Norvell's done a very good job in reshaping this roster. Don't think they're at the level of the 12-0 team from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think they're very much in contention to win the ACC this year.
Well, it's interesting. I brought up Alabama, and that transitions us over to the Alabama-Georgia game, which is, I believe, Georgia is a -3.5 right now.
We have 2 gigantic college football games on Saturday night, and they just happen to be at the same time.
So
good work, TV people.
So this is what we just don't know about Alabama, right? So they get smoked by Florida State to start the season. It's week 1. You can't read too much into it. Understand? You also can't read too much into a 73-0 beatdown of Louisiana Monroe, followed by them smoking Wisconsin 38-14. We'll get to Wisconsin in a second.
Game was really not even that close.
It wasn't that close. We'll get to the Wisconsin thing in a second because, as I put in today's commentary, hey, college football fans, it could always be worse. You're mad at Dave Dorn? It could always be worse. Oh, you think? Oh, Bill Belichick. Barry Alvarez had some things to say. So this is where the Kalen DeBoer. He's got 2 games where he has to show out. And I wish Dimitri were here to help Alabama-splain to everybody about what these next 2 weeks are. Okay. So obviously you got an Alabama-Georgia game. We understand the stakes of this one. You lose to Georgia on the road. That's one thing. Okay. But then there's the game the following week. You know who they play next week? The following week? Vanderbilt. They host Vanderbilt.
Who got them last year? Pretty good.
Remember, it was a different Vanderbilt team. Vanderbilt always catches strays on here. That one has to be circled. That one has to be the one where you go and say, hey, you caught us sleeping, where we're going to pour it on you now. So it's a really interesting couple of weeks for Kalen DeBoer in that you can turn the tide, if you will, on how people are talking about you based on a key SEC rivalry game against the guy who's running the show right now in Kirby Smart. And then, of course, the Vanderbilt revenge game, which should be a top 25 matchup, actually.
Yeah.
I like all credit to Vanderbilt. That should be a top 25 matchup.
Props to NBC for finally getting a good Big Ten game. They didn't get any last year, and now they got the whiteout on Saturday night. Number 3 Penn State, number 6 Oregon. This will actually be the game that I watch.
Gotcha.
From the on my computer from the press box, because if it's gonna rain,
So
I ain't sitting outside.
So I mentioned Wisconsin, and Barry Alvarez went on his own radio show, which is hosted.
So Barry Alvarez has a radio show.
He has a radio show on ESPN Madison.
He's no longer the AD at Wisconsin, right?
Tired. Honestly, I can't remember. Let me actually look what his deal is. Off to the Wikipedia. He is considered a former college football coach and athletic director. So he is no longer the athletic director at. Who is the athletic director of Wisconsin now? Anyway,
the Google machine is your friend.
It's neither here nor there.
It's not. What I was getting at was I didn't think he was like a Mike Krzyzewski sitting coach who got his own like serious show.
No. Okay. No. He's just, this is like a classic. The best example I can give you is
he has a weekly radio show. Okay.
It's like the Steve Logan show. Like I know Logan's still doing his radio show, the Logan Zone on 94.3. What is it? The Game, I think it's called, out in Greenville. I can't remember the actual name of just 94.3. Either way, here's Barry Alvarez tutting Wisconsin fans who wanted to fire Luke Fickell with a chant.
Coach, what do you make of how fans have reacted here
I think it's embarrassing. I think it's terrible, despicable. They're spoiled rotten. Here's a team that you got young players trying to come on. They're competing. They're going to have a chance to get better, and you flip on them. They're early in the season, and you flip on them, and you're chanting for the coach. What do you think that makes? How do you think that makes the players feel?
Exactly.
And that's
a great
just,
point, Coach.
That's disrespectful. It's not loyal. You're not a fan. If I'm a person sitting next to me, boom, I tell, get your ass out of here. We don't need you in here. You don't want to watch this? Go someplace else. Go boo in a bar.
So I played that clip for 2 reasons. One, I thought you would find it amusing. Like, what do the players think? Also, never question my camera technique. That's a full ass ESPN radio station with super, super dark video lighting. Get some lights. I know you got the budget for it. For Barry Alvarez. Yeah. Come on.
Go to a bar.
Well, they're at no, they're at a steakhouse. They weren't at a bar. They're fancy there. They do the Barry Alvarez show from a steakhouse.
What exactly? I mean, I know Wisconsin's had success, but
yeah. You're spoiled. Okay. One other SEC game before we get to one of the most ridiculous things I've heard Paul Feinbaum ever say. I don't know. Maybe he was inspired by Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, thinking, maybe if I throw out some threats, maybe I can get my way, right? So we got Ole Miss, LSU. And apparently, Lane Kiffin's daughter decided to hard launch her relationship with an LSU
linebacker.
Mm-hmm. This is from a CBS guy, Mikey. Landry Kiffin announcing her relationship with an LSU linebacker the week of game day is a crazy move. The Kiffin household must be in shambles. Reeks of one thing, the over. And here's the post on Instagram with Landry Kiffin and this LSU linebacker. And look who responded.
Whit Weeks is the name of the player.
Whit Weeks is the guy's name?
Yep.
That's not a football player. Whit Weeks sounds like somebody that's a made up name from Dawson's Creek.
Does actually sound.
That's what that sounds like. Yeah. What was it? There was a show that's been very, very popular that just wrapped up called like The Summer I Turned Pretty on Netflix. That sounds like the main character who kind of set a main character on a journey from Whit Weeks.
Got it.
Anyway, Lane Kiffin responded to this and said, take the over. Now, look,
the implication being
that his
daughter
is going to wear
out.
him.
No, that his daughter is going to wear out Whit Weeks.
No,
that is the implication, sir.
That is how you took it. That is not how I am taking it. I am taking that in the classic case of, now before you date my daughter, what are your intentions? That's what that is. And of course, the classic. Now, these are one of these things where I just don't know the context sometimes. So let me see. I'm on my DraftKings app right now. The over is 56.5. And right now, Ole Miss is a 1.5 point favorite at home against LSU, who has admittedly, separate conversation, they've been struggling. Brian Kelly's been going through it right now.
Struggling on offense.
I listened to Bomani and Spencer Hall on Bomani's podcast. What are you chuckling at?
Paul Whitweeks is
Three
finger weeks.
So I was listening to Spencer Hall's appearance on Bomani's podcast. So because I got a little education on the dynamics between Landry Kiffin and Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
And apparently Lane Kiffin has referred to his daughter as him in the sense that she is essentially me. So take that for what it's worth. What do we know about Lane Kiffin?
Likes to have a good time.
He likes to have a good time.
Or used to.
He likes to troll. He's
Yeah.
super online and active. And this seems like father-daughter dynamics. And look, I have 2 sons. You have 2 sons.
Yeah.
It's something that Spencer Hall mentioned, and I absolutely agree with it, especially now that I have a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old. I can say this definitively now that I am managing a travel hockey team with 13 and 14-year-olds. They all share one brain cell. They're like orange cats. They all share one brain cell. Eventually, they'll get some more, but right now they share one. Okay? And you know this with boys. There's just like a general yeah, man, stop being a dumbass. And you just kind of move it there. But everybody that I know that has a daughter, the guys that I know who have daughters, it is psychological warfare. And this is something that do you not, am I wrong?
I'm not adding to this conversation.
Am I wrong though? In your experience with your friends who have daughters, is it not like an interesting psychological warfare between the father and the daughter? Okay, you're nodding along. You're being very careful about this. I'm just going to straight up say it because I've had friends say that to me. It's like, dude, you don't understand. So I feel like what's happening between Lane and Landry is that online between 2 similar people who are now butting heads based on what I've been told. And it's going to be really interesting on Saturday if Ole Miss loses.
Oh.
So what?
She should be.
The easy answer is, oh yeah, take the over. Lane's going to pour it on. You know, he's like that kind of stuff. How date my daughter? But what if they lose? What's Landry going to do? I feel like Ryan McGee's going to have to do an entire different E60 feature on Lane Kiffin after that. Don't you think? Didn't that drop tonight? Does that drop tonight? Our guy Ryan McGee's feature on Lane?
Ryan's so good. He really is.
See, Mike agrees. Can't confirm, Ovies. Psychological warfare. Speaking of the SEC, Paul Feinbaum, buddy, what are we doing here, man?
Well, now, wait a second.
What are we doing?
Wait a second.
What?
I told you what the discourse was going to become a few weeks ago when you were getting mad at me about the schedule thing. I told you this was coming specifically from the SEC because they're going to have a bunch of teams that have 2 or 3 losses. And meanwhile, you're going to see now Indiana, Michigan, Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State with at most 2 losses.
Okay.
At most.
So earlier this week, I had missed this.
Mhm.
Earlier this week, the SEC announced their new 9-game conference scheduling model and who your primaries were going to be. And every coach has had issues with this.
Right.
You know, I saw our guy Drink at Missouri mad about these matches. Lane Kiffin mad about some of these things.
Yeah, because they lost some of the games they preferred to have hung on to.
And to your point, this was a concession about strength of schedule. And the SEC is saying, fine, you want us to go to 9 conference games and we're the best conference in the land, then that must mean that we've got the best schedule. Greg Sankey, I almost said Mike's Live. Greg Sankey has been pushing this since last season and in this season, whether it's the spring meetings or at SEC media days, about how we're too worried about who won and who lost, and you should be valuing the strength of schedule. So now that you've done it, and tell me that Paul Feinbaum doesn't sound like a mouthpiece for Greg Sankey right here.
I haven't
This is
watched
supposed to be
it
a night
yet.
to celebrate where the SEC is, but I'm getting angry listening to this conversation because Greg, we're all dumbfounded by what we heard last year, and we have laid a marker from the SEC at the feet of the CFP, and they better deliver. And I'm not making threats because I don't have any more control over it than anybody else, but I know some people who do. And if they screw this up, they will be paying for it. And I don't know how or will, but they should, because this is unequivocal what the SEC has laid down tonight.
Paying for it?
They're gonna pay for it.
How are they going to pay for it?
I'm not making threats, but they're gonna pay for it.
I'm not. What can Paul Feinbaum do? Right? Like, and also, who are you working for?
Also, just curious.
Yeah.
Well, what did they get wrong last year?
They got nothing wrong.
Okay.
That Alabama team did not belong in the college football
You
playoff.
said they lost to who?
Vanderbilt.
Okay.
That's an automatic disqualifier to me. So they're going to pay for it. In what shape or form? Are you telling me the SEC is going to take their ball and run? It's like, you know what, ESPN and college football playoff committee, we're going to do our own. Are you actually going to do the thing? Is that what Paul Feinbaum's threatening here? That the SEC is just going to say, F the college football playoff, we're going to go do our own thing?
In fairness, Paul works a lot during the college football season.
You think he's tired?
He's a little bit of a mad hatter there.
Okay. Do you want to do DraftKings now? Or do you want to do DraftKings after I bring up how UNC has already lost the bye week?
Let's do the DraftKings because we have a bad habit of forgetting about them sometimes.
Yeah, that's a fair point. All the lines that we've been using in discussing our Week 5 ACC and college football picks, they've all come from DraftKings. You've heard us referencing the DraftKings. You just heard me put $5 down for the Respect the Troops special. Army, Air Force, Navy,
as labeled on the app.
Well, it's not called the Respect the Troops special.
I thought it was.
No, I called it. It's like the Armed Forces Frenzy or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But I called it the Respect the Troops
well, you
special.
had me.
So I put $5 on that because I respect the troops always. So we've been using the lines of DraftKings. And look, as I mentioned, there's all sorts of fun ways to do this. And you can get in on the action right now by using our promo code OG25. You bet just $5, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. With DraftKings, who's an official sports betting partner of the NFL, you can get in on the live line. You can get first touchdown, anytime TD props. Every snap is loaded with opportunity. You want to take the Panthers to continue their Reaper moment against New England? By all means, get in on the action. And all you got to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use that promo code OG25. Again, that's OG25 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place just a $5 bet. Again, OG25, $5 bet. You'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket. And from NFL, I'm like screwing up. I'm doing this live, so I have to like reset myself. NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. I want to scroll back because I think that Paul actually pointed this out as I mentioned it. Let me see. Let me scroll back out here. We're live. I'm going through the comments. Let's see. Where did it go? Aha. From Paul. Final from Saturday. UNC 0. Open week 1.
But why?
I'll tell you why. This is why. They already took the L before Saturday even hit.
Oh, no. Did Ludacris cancel?
Is that a noon game, by the way?
Yeah, he's supposed to go on at 9:45.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because I wanted
they
to
thought it was going to be a prime time game.
Well, yeah. Bill Belichick, Clemson,
Clip,
noon.
Nooner.
I want to go see, but I want to go see Ludacris. I want to throw them both. Come on. Come on. I want to hear what's your fantasy. Do it at the 50-yard line of Keenan because he'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Not at the Georgia Dome. Georgia Dome doesn't exist anymore.
That's right.
50-yard line of Keenan. Although, you know what? That just put a thought in my brain. I don't want to think about it. No, about the 50-yard line of Keenan.
Speaking of the 50-yard line at Keenan,
well,
Us Weekly.
Yeah, see, this is where UNC has already taken an L. This is from Us Weekly. I've had many, many people text me this. Have you guys talked about this yet? I'm like, do you really want us to talk about this? Fine. Quote, she's been called a gold digger. Yo, I'm right off the bat. I have to correct this. She's calling herself one. She just filed for a name for jewelry called gold digger. And an opportunist. But is the woman at the center of one of football's biggest off-field stories simply misunderstood? Us Weekly cuts through the noise to find out more about Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, who's managing his brand and changing his public image. Read the full feature here and in newsstands everywhere. I feel like I got to go buy this at the supermarket and frame it.
Oh, yeah.
And add it to the wall.
Yeah.
So I might do that this week. This is the part that I find the most hysterical. So they're using a picture from the NFL 100 gala. So maybe this is a scoreless tie going into overtime because the Us Weekly feature does not feature UNC gear on Bill Belichick. So that's a bonus, right? What I find hilarious about the cover, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll describe it, is, again, Jordan Hudson draped over Bill Belichick, wearing a Super Bowl ring while he's wearing his NFL 100 jacket, and they have an arrow pointing to Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, as though, I could not have figured that out on my own. Which one's which? Who's the young person? Who's the old person? I can't tell, Joe. Because look at the youthful smile on Bill Belichick. Look at the joy she's bringing to his life. Of course, it didn't look like that after they got run by UCF. I read the story.
We're all for the lesser because Ludacris is 9:45. That's my take.
I read the story. I couldn't help it. I read the story. And it's the classic case of people are saying, but I'm going to give you these random people from her life to say, oh, no, she's totally not like this. Why did this come out now? That would be the other question that I've been getting. Why is this coming out now? And the only answer that I have is that Jordan Hudson's unfortunately been taking some L's here lately. There's a Dancing with the Stars, depending on who you ask. Was she invited? Was she rejected? Who the hell knows? You got this Hulu show that sounded like a great idea in theory, but what are you really going to get out of this first 4 weeks of the season? It sounds like a stinker. And she's routinely made fun of, like she was on the field ahead of the game of Central Florida, and people have been having a good time with that. And of course, you've got the Miss Maine competition and everything else. I believe that this is a classic. I'm going to take back the narrative. Who can I call? Where do I have friends? So I'm going to plant this story. Otherwise, why else would you have this story?
I'm at a loss on this one.
What I'm really waiting for is for Us Weekly to get to the bottom of open records laws and open meeting laws in the state of North Carolina. When will they cover the real story, Joe? I need Us Weekly to talk to David McKenzie and give us the real scoop of who's really behind the scenes.
We got to check in with our guy, huh?
No, we really need to do that. We really need to do that. I hate that I was right, man. Absolutely hate that I was right. All right, big thanks to Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. Check them out online at bugsbite.com. Again, that's bugsbite.com. As I mentioned, I've been doing some stuff in the yard this week, whether it's putting up Halloween decorations or cleaning out my car. I have not been getting bitten up by mosquitoes.
We need to send Hayes Lancaster to Wilson. The bugs were relentless yesterday.
Really?
Relentless.
I was going to ask you about that in Hey Joe. See how that went. As a celebrity.
I need them.
Okay, fair enough.
I need to get them out there.
Bugsbite.com. It's been a rowback week for you.
Mm-hmm.
You got your jersey on today. You had your rowback on yesterday for the golf tournament. You can get your rowback today at rowback.com. Go to rowback.com and use the promo code OG20. Again, that's OG20. You can also get your 2 Roosters at Canes games this season. The Slavin Sunday is
we
back.
got new items. Hit the alarm sound.
Yeah, I got to pull up Jared's text here. But yes, we do have the Slavin Sunday back, which is very key.
Price was not raised.
No. Amazing. And we also have the brand new hockey-themed ice cream treats coming to the Lenovo Center. These are hockey puck Sammies. These look amazing.
I like how you read that.
What? How did I read it?
You read it like Pat Summerall was like, getting us ready for the 60 minutes.
That's right.
Murder She Wrote. Coming
There
up
we go.
next.
Those look good. Little ice cream treats. Ice cream
treats.
treats. Hockey puck
And
Sammies.
your local news to follow.
Up next, the surfing squirrel is back, followed by this one couple. Anyway,
Murder She Wrote.
so go to tworoosters.com. Go get their rotating flavors at their brick and mortar stores, obviously. But now that hockey season's back, best deal in the building is at our friends with 2 Roosters. Big thanks to Whitaker and Hamer. We are starting the process of getting all the liability waivers for the OG birthday bash in May so that we could do card jujitsu, grocery card archery, all that kind of fun stuff. They can handle things like that.
No. We're not doing card jujitsu. No.
You might throw your neck out.
No.
So go to wh.lawyer. And of course, our friend Chris Brassfield, Homer, Alaska. Go to brassfieldaccounting.com. He is a fractional CFO. Like, hell, what? Look, there's a lot of small businesses out there. We are included in this. And you might be a small business that deals in the business of government grants. You're getting some extra funds to fund research and whatever it might be. And you might not have a full handle on what it takes to make sure that everything is I's dotted, T's crossed, to make sure that your taxes are also straight and narrow, something that Joe and I have discovered.
Right. They do accounting. They prepare your books for taxes, but they don't do taxes.
But this is important.
Yes.
It's all a step to making sure that everything is ready to go.
Correct.
And Brassfield Accounting can handle that for you as a fractional CFO.
Well, no, we had someone reach out, and I had to reach out to Chris to clarify.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing it up now.
Oh, on the taxes part?
Yes.
Gotcha.
But it is important when you're trying to find the tax person. They don't want your mess. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They want your organized accounting, everything in order and reconciled is the word that they like to use in the business.
So go to brassfieldaccounting.com. Again, that's brassfieldaccounting.com. What do you owe shooting?
You did rowback, and I forgot to show you what you're gonna really, really like.
What did you? Well, while you're pulling that up, multitask.
Yeah,
how was the golf tournament in Wilson yesterday as a celebrity?
It was awesome. They do such a good job with their tournament and the North Carolina Baseball Museum and the Hot Stove League that they have that will be coming up here in the winter. So I was happy to participate. Great to see a lot of different faces. Mike Fox, Francis Combs. Some people.
How is Francis?
He's good.
I haven't seen Francis in a hot minute.
He's
man.
still doing football games. 59 years.
I just haven't seen Francis in a long time.
Like that's amazing.
And I don't think he ages either.
No,
like Francis. As long as I've been doing this, I'm pretty sure Francis has looked the exact same the entire time.
He could still get out there umpire. He could still probably get out there and catch a few innings too.
Probably.
Yeah.
Let's go to the. Do you got your row back or not? Did you pull it up? Tell you what, let me hit the sports
go
phone.
ahead.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports phone and curse or don't.
All right, let's go to a 252.
Hey, Joe, it's not to be the well-actually guy, but you had 2 points that I wanted to well-actually you about. BYU is a religious school, and I know you said that everyone from BYU or in Provo traveled to Greenville, but if they're on the East Coast, the Mormons that are in that area are definitely going to go to support BYU because they probably went to BYU. I mean, my small town, 20 minutes from Greenville, had a huge Mormon contingent, and a lot of them were BYU fans, oddly enough. Second thing, you almost made the point and couldn't figure out why Syracuse fans annoyed you. So you've lived in North Carolina longer than you have New Jersey, I assume. Why are Syracuse and why are Maryland fans and why are Jets and Giants and Red Sox and Yankees and Mets and Islanders and Knicks and Rangers fans annoying? Because they're from up north. Thanks.
It's almost like Joe has forgotten.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. Maybe
fair.
you've just straight up forgotten what it. No, actually, that's a real thing because when I go down to Miami, when I go down to South Florida, I get easily annoyed. Like, why is everybody like this? And I was like, oh, it's because I've lived here for so long, and I forgot what Miami Cubans are like. This happened to me in Minnesota earlier in the year when we had a hockey tournament in Minneapolis. There was a team from South Florida called the Golden Wolves, and we played them. And I know a Miami accent from a mile away, man. Miami Cubans talk in a very distinctive way. And as I'm hearing them, I'm like, oh boy, the parents who have never dealt with Cuban parents, sports parents, they're in for a real treat today because every hit on your kid, that was a clean hit. Every hit on their kid, their dirtiest hit ever, the refs are trash, and I'm ready to fight. Cubans, baby. We love a sporting event. Anyway.
I found their new drop. Look at these puppies.
Oh, the Ready sweatshirts?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw those today in my email. Those look good.
I was like, ooh, Joe Ovies likes a normal garden variety crew neck sweatshirt. And those sweatshirts look a little bit more hardier than our normal performance hoodies. So
I like it.
Just an extra plug because we will see our guys when we're back tomorrow. So we got to take care of them.
I hope they got some goodies for us.
Oh, yes. This is a callback from the summer. Yesterday's episode reminded me you're going to Philly in a couple weeks. Go to Angelo's on South Ninth. Best cheesesteaks in the world. A lot of my Philly in-laws tell me that. My father-in-law, he's a South Jersey guy, grew up, still lives in and around Philadelphia area today, says the best cheesesteak he's ever had, and that man's had a lot of cheesesteaks. And he ate that a day later. We got it for him on the way to the shore, and he ate it the next day, and he still said it was the best cheesesteak he ever had. So Angelo's, South 9th Street, cash only, so keep that in mind as you go. But great cheesesteaks. I hope you have a great time in Philly, man.
So funny enough, I'll be going to Philly in 2 weeks for a hockey tournament. I was in Philly for a hockey tournament last year, and I did go to Angelo's when we were there. And yes, it is cash only. And yes, it is one of the best cheesesteaks I've ever had. I also had an Italian sandwich, easily one of the best Italian subs I've ever had, or hoagie that I've ever had. But he says cash only. You're only telling half the story when it comes to trying to get to Angelo's. Because like with all things, it gets put on TV shows. I know that Dave Portnoy with his one bite pizza challenge thing, like that blew up after he had gone to Angelo's. So you go, the way it works is you go, you put your order in, and then they say, come back in 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's insane. But it was worth it because like there's a park right around the corner. It's cash only. You can't eat inside. So there's a park right around the corner. So we took like half the team over to this park and just kind of set up base camp and ate cheesesteaks and pizza and subs and all that kind of stuff. I will be going back. There's a window of time where we'll have an opportunity to go back.
2 hours seems excessive, but
Joe, I'm the same man that's stood in line for a roller coaster that lasts 90 seconds for a total of 2 hours. As somebody points out, you could watch the entirety of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie in the time that it takes for you to get on the ride. So this is a real thing. This is a real thing. We got an OG mailbag tomorrow. We'll hit that early in the morning. We got the OG Golf Classic. Speaking of our YouTube membership channel, there's a little join button. You've got subscribe, you've got join. Those are two different things. You subscribe to the YouTube channel, we appreciate that. You'll be alerted when new podcasts come out. And you got the join. That takes you to the YouTube membership channel. That is just $5 a month.
Join right here.
That's just $5 a month, less than a tray. And the mailbag will come out tomorrow. We got
17 cents a day.
We got a new OG business today, and thanks to Kelly, he threw us $10, which appreciate that. And he says, not the correct show, but shout out to Joe O and Dimitri for the latest OG on business. I am one of those geeks who likes to know what is happening behind the scenes in the media business. Keep up the good work. That was in relation.
That's great work.
That's in relation to the Jimmy Kimmel return and the FCC implications and various other things. And of course, the one thing we know in this country, he who has football has the most leverage. Something to keep in mind. So that's on our YouTube channel as well. So go check that out. We appreciate that. We will have more action tomorrow. No After Darks this week. We were planning on doing an After Dark Clemson, North Carolina, but that seems like it's going to be an afternoon.
Yes. Next week.
Next week. Big thanks to Will Wade and NC State for welcoming us to the basketball facility earlier today to talk to him. And we appreciate you for watching us live. Give us a like, leave the comments, hype us on the YouTube channel. And of course, if you're on podcast only, we appreciate 5 stars. 5 stars only. Positive vibes only. Leave a review too. We'll see you tomorrow.